What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we're cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines. And who better to join me today than Aden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hello, everybody. If there's anything that I know, the console wars are a brewing, and Kevin is on the front lines.
Uh, Put me in, coach. I've been waiting for this damn moment. But before we get into any of that, we'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are liking these videos, subscribing to Game Sandwich, and if you're new here, do that and join our community Discord. Links are in the video description down below. Now, you brought up the console wars. Aiden, even though I'm on the front lines, I gotta say, I just got here, and I think the console wars are over. And, you know, I first off, before we get into the story and why I think this is all over, it's been over for quite some time. What do you think about the general, like, PlayStation versus Xbox? Nintendo's kind of like in the middle of the daisy field doing their own thing, spinning around. What are your thoughts on the general conversation around this?
Okay, well, first of all, I desperately now need a picture of you, like, running around a battlefield with, like, one of those, like, Wii Zap controllers, like, and,
Yes.
like, a headset on and everything, be like, console wars. But,
Console
okay,
war.
but I digress. But anyway, like, I don't see the need for a console war anymore. I don't feel like the need is there. I don't think anybody is really caring. I mean, yes, there's a group of people who obviously care. I mean, people with, like, for instance, like Helldivers coming to, like, Xbox or whatever. People care, and people have been saying, hey, we're gonna start shooting, like, the Xbox players because, hey, we don't like that it's coming to Xbox. Like, obviously, the spark is still there, but
Hmm.
I don't think it's really necessary anymore. Like, honestly, if I could just, like, merge a PlayStation and an Xbox together and just be like, hey, there's one console, we all live under one,
Yeah.
then I would just do it.
It,
And then
that
Nintendo can do their own thing.
they're out there just doing whatever they want.
They're out there Nintendoing.
Exactly. I do think the conversation around like PlayStation fanboys and Xbox fanboys, it's gotten really trivial. I do think there is a bigger problem in gaming, and it always stems back to like ballooning game budgets and releasing games that lack creativity and stuff like that. But to kind of corral it back to why I think the console wars are over, you brought up Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox, and there is a new trailer, hopefully playing to right over there, that celebrates the launch of Helldivers 2 on Xbox. I believe it's in the coming days here on the 20th or something like that. This is great news. That alone is historic. A PlayStation IP ground up game coming to Xbox. Never really heard about it. MLB The Show, I know people are going to say that, but that's MLB The Show. That's tied to like sports. I think the console wars are over because of this like last few seconds of the trailer, where obviously a clear tease to Halo 3 ODST happened. There was like a musical note taken straight out of the game, and
Yes.
this is something we've all been speculating on, like the not the prophecy, but the prospect of like getting ODSTs in Helldivers, because that's the game. That is what it's built for. And
Yeah, and I wanna clarify one thing though, for anyone who thinks that this is like a gateway to adding Master Chief to it. The CCO, now once CEO of Arrowhead, has specifically stated, hey, Master Chief's never gonna be in the game. He
no,
has specifically said that he's drawn a line on crossover stuff, and it literally like ends with Halo ODST. So
yeah,
we'll get ODST, but you're never gonna see Master Chief running around shooting bugs.
exactly. But this is something where if you asked me like 4 or 5 years ago, PlayStation and Xbox working closely together on something like this, I would say you're crazy, because clearly those two are at odds. Might I remind you, PlayStation, during the times where Halo 3 was so popular, the Xbox 360 was selling, it was on the top of all the charts, they were too busy trying to make the Halo killer. And I'm shouting out Killzone 2 as one of those games that were manufactured to take down Halo. Now we live in a world where PlayStation and Xbox are working together to deliver content that is for everybody, that involves the Halo franchise, that involves Helldivers 2, a PlayStation IP. Altogether, they're working kumbaya, and again, this isn't bad for gaming. There's plenty of people that sit there and go, this is the end, this is whatever. Believe me, I'm going to get into more of the I told you so's later in this video. But what are your thoughts on that? The fact that we are now living in a world where PlayStation and Xbox are working together to make something great, or make it greater, because Helldivers 2 is great to begin
First
with.
of all, question for you
Question.
was Killzone actually made to compete with Halo? I thought that was just a standalone thing. Hey, I love that game.
It was
Like,
made. It was made by itself, but Killzone 2 in like that era was specifically made to revitalize the sci-fi shooter on PlayStation side of things. And they were like, oh, like maybe we can make a Halo-esque game to kind of get people on our platform. I know someone's going to say that's not true, but I can read the tea leaves.
I don't know. To me, it's not true. I liked Killzone. I thought it was fun.
Great game.
But
I think it should come back, but you know.
But anyway, I just think if, like I want to see PlayStation, Xbox, like Sony, Microsoft. I want to see them just work together more often. I just want to honestly, I don't see a place in the future for there being like console wars or like separate consoles. Like I don't want to see it. I know it's going to exist, obviously, because they're never going to be like, oh yeah, let's make one console or anything like that. They're never going to do that. But I want there to be a future where like they just work together because they realize, hey, it's more profitable to just work together instead. Because if you're forcing everyone to one console and then only and giving them exclusives on that console and everything, yeah, that's profitable for like one company, but then the other one's going to suffer. And if they want to like be profitable together, it's better to just work together, you know.
It's better to work together, and we live in this world where Square Enix has now corrected course on releasing Final Fantasy on all platforms. They've seen the detriment it was to release on a singular platform. I do think, like you were saying, there's still going to be exclusives, whether that be God of War, whether that be a game like Spider-Man. But I do think we are now living in a world more than ever where PlayStation is now going to open up that back catalog of games. I can't believe I'm about to say this. They will release The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 on Xbox and bill it as like a new iteration of that game. I think
Yeah, they will. It's going to be another remake or remaster of it.
the X edition or whatever they're gonna freaking call it. But like, this is what I'm saying. This is what the future, I think, is for PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, of course, we're getting Gears of War E-Day or not E-Day, Reloaded, the first Gears of War remaster on PlayStation. Forza Horizon is on PlayStation right now and selling at the top of all PlayStation stores. This is just the future. And I think the edict of PlayStation versus Xbox, you can't do that anymore. These people are selling their games on as many platforms as possible, not out of like free will, out of necessity to keep their business afloat. We always talk about that red line, it must go up into the green. This is how you do it. And I just think people, like, of course, whenever Xbox did it, they were like, oh, it only takes one, then we're going to expect Halo and stuff on PlayStation. Well, PlayStation fans, like I said on my channel, Halo on Air, where I talk about video game news, this is your one, PlayStation fans. This is your one. This is your comeuppance. This is where you have to have this adjustment period to realize the business is changing.
I mean, it is changing. And, like, it's only a matter of time until we see a lot more games coming to Xbox. Like, Spider-Man, obviously, at some point will be. We're probably going to see The Last of Us, like you said. They're probably going to make the X edition of it or something stupid.
I just jinxed it. I just jinxed it.
Like, and I've said in previous videos of ours that, like, I do think there's still a place for console exclusives and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, I still think there's a place for it, but keep it to your, like, mascots or keep it to your smaller games. Where it's like, yeah, Astrobot works really well on PlayStation. Let that be a smaller game that's only on PlayStation, that's amazing, that people love, and that they have a reason to buy the console for. But then for bigger games like, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and everything, bring those to Xbox. Like, let those be on other consoles. Don't just put them on PC and PlayStation or just PlayStation. Because they're not going to be as profitable otherwise. Like, if you just go to PlayStation, there's not going to be enough people just solely on PlayStation just like to justify the profits or justify the, the exclusivity of it. I mean, like, and that's part of the reason why they move them to PC. They
Yep.
do timed exclusive on PlayStation, and then they move them to PC because there's a bigger market for gamers on PC. You see it time and time again where people are shifting from consoles to building their own PCs because it's a more intimate experience. They enjoy that experience. They enjoy making something their own, and then there you go.
Yeah.
Like overall, they realize, hey, I can play both consoles games on my PC instead.
Exactly. And speaking of profits, a story I kind of wanted to wedge in here since we are talking about Xbox and the word profits. Um, the PlayStation boss, or former one, I should say, Sean Layden was talking with GameIndustry.biz, and he was talking about Game Pass and how profitable it isn't and how it's bad for developers. This is the age where we stem back to the industry is changing. He's saying that it's Game Pass as a service is not beneficial to developers. It's not creating creative games, or it's not inspiring developers to create those games. I have a list a miles long where it's like I can list off Tunic, Pentiment, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Game of the Year contender this year, Clay Obscure Expedition 33. It is, I don't like to take firm stances. You of all people know this, but it is a straight up boneheaded take from him to say that it's just not doing its thing. It's not inspiring developers. If anything, I think this service promotes that. Get your game in front of as many people as possible. And I've said countless times, I've tried games on Game Pass that I normally wouldn't play. Like I did a review for that rematch game, the soccer game. I said in the review, normally I don't play soccer games like that. I'm not really interested. But because it was on Game Pass, because I heard the hype, I was like, hey, give it a try. Turns out I loved it. So, what are your thoughts on that part before I really start
I don't
yapping?
know. When it comes to Game Pass here, I see the reason for like the whole wage slave comment. I see it, and the reason being is like I'll use Tunic as an example. Okay, Tunic was very profitable. It was. There's no doubt about it that Tunic was a profitable game. But was it profitable because it was on Game Pass or because it was
Mm,
on Steam?
yeah.
Like so many people bought it on Steam that hey, it's profitable, but whenever you try to look up the profits for it on Google like for Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get anything back. You don't get any sort of information about how profitable it was off Game Pass. So it's like, okay, you have this service that you're offering for $15 a month, right? It's 15 a month, I think.
Depending on
So
the
it's like I,
tier, you know.
I don't I don't have it. So I don't subscribe to that Game Pass lifestyle. But so you buy a game or well, you download a game off Game Pass. Okay, you're paying $15 a month for this service. You download Tunic. What percentage of that monthly profit is
Mm-hmm.
going towards people who download specifically Tunic? Is
Yeah.
it just 0.0001 like cent, like a fraction of a cent, or is it like oh $1 goes to them for every download or what? Because unless you're getting a lot of money for the download, then it's not profitable to them to be on Game Pass, or they can just outright buy the game from the rights to the game from them and just be like, hey, we're gonna give you I don't know, let's say like we'll give you like $50,000.
Yep.
Okay, well for the rights to the game. That's cool. Then they aren't seeing any money from people downloading the game. They just got that one check for $50,000 for putting it on Game Pass. And how far does that go in the company versus how much did they get off Steam or something?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the hesitation here is with like calling it a profitable thing. Like I don't really think Game Pass is as profitable as people think that it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think more or less it is like it does promote kind of like the wage slave thing where it is like oh well if these people are willing to give us their game for 30,000 we'd rather get their game versus the people who made maybe a better game but they want 60,000 us to pay them 60,000 for the rights to their game.
Yeah, that stuff is tricky. I wish somebody out there like Jason Schreier would release a report like this is how developers get their money from Game Pass, like behind the scenes. Because I am interested to see how the trickle down happens. Like you said, is it per download? Is it per like just an overall lump sum
Well,
deal?
you also have to think about it like this, and just for anybody who thinks in general, if you want to argue about it in the comments, feel free. But just in general, companies have a way to always hide their profits for everything.
Yeah,
So no matter what you're gonna say, even if you say that it is the most unprofitable thing ever, just like I do, then the company will always figure out a way to just be like, oh yeah, no, look, it's profitable. We moved all this money around in our company, bam, to show you that it's profitable, even though it's not.
yeah, yeah,
They always have some sort of scapegoat. They always have some sort of way out to show everything. And then when it's like tax time, it's like, oh, this wasn't profitable at all
yeah,
because we moved our money around over here. So it's like they have a way to show either or.
yeah.
There's no way that we'll ever know exactly how much it is.
And credit to Sean Layden, he did say that within his quote. I'm gonna flash the giant quote somewhere here. But my whole thing, my whole gripe with him was the creativity side of things. I just simply think that's false. Whenever you look at the catalog and what's available on Game Pass, there is a game for everybody. And even if the game isn't entirely 100% for you, it's still like you're paying. I pay $30 a month for Ultimate because I got it on PC, I got it on my console. So like I use it and crossplay, and like I get it on my ROG Ally. Like I get a lot out of it. But the fact is, if there's a game that I'm like semi interested in, I can download it, try it, and just say like, all right, like this isn't for me, or wow, I'm walking away, like Claire Obscure. A game I normally never play. You're always trying to get me to play like Final Fantasy and like those JRPGs. That was a prime example of maybe I should try more games, or maybe I should really open up my taste in gaming. So, hey,
Yeah.
creativity is there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will just say this instead of Game Pass, I brought it up in a previous video of ours, and I hope that, like, I hope people comment again, just saying that maybe they agree with me on this one. But I've said it before, I think that it would be highly profitable for people to just act like Steam does, in the sense where you can download a game, you can download a game, and play it for up to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it in that 2 hours, then you can just return it. Like, you can get a refund, no questions asked.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think every company would just benefit from something like that. Where, oh, people can buy the game, they can play it for 2 hours. If they don't like it, they can return it. There you go. Simple as that. I think, honestly, it would lead to more people trying out games, like you said, that they've never tried before. And I think that would also lead to more people actually keeping the games because, oh, they'll have a chance to try it, they'll be happy with it, and you won't see, like, people going, oh man, I bought this game, like I bought like Assassin's Creed Shadows or something. That's just the first one that comes to mind. Like I
No,
bought
yeah.
that one. Oh, cool. I paid $50 for $60 or $70 for it, and I hate it. And then okay, cool. They don't have to keep it. They can use that money for something else. But if they like it, hey, the company gets to keep the money. There you go. Simple.
And that stems back to today's like climate overall in gaming and in life, where it's like people are adverse to spending that $80 just straight out of the gate for a game where they don't have the confidence in it. Like I looked at Assassin's Creed Shadows and seen that it released for the $70 or I think $80 price point, and just said, yeah, I'm not willing to spend on that because I know what it is at the end of the day, and I'm not willing to do that right now. There are other games in my back catalog or new games on the horizon that I'd much rather allocate my resources to and then get to that game. So it's just a matter of play there on the general spectrum. But I do want to pass it off to the comment section. Are the console wars over? Like, are we finally like in where the dust settled, and now we can kind of just move along as a collective and kind of just enjoy games wherever we want, however we want? Because I think we'll be a lot better off like that. But do you have any final thoughts here, Aiden?
I mean, none other than I just, I'm just gonna continuously say that I think I'm right with the whole like, oh, they should just allow free demos or they should allow for like a 2 hour cutoff thing
Bring
to like
back
try a
demo
game out.
discs. Put them in the thing, even though bringing back discs now is a thing. but putting a game in a box with a little demo disc of like the next 5 games coming out, I mean, hey, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it all the way back.
Do it.
But you heard it here first if it does happen. But that about does it here for this episode of Community Kitchen. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you want more gaming content just like this, keep it locked to Game Sandwich for all your gaming news, rumors, and reviews. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by Aden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.